It's already a failure? As we all know, at the trade deadline, Nico Harrison had one goal in mind alone, and that was to shape this team in his image. Citing Nico Harrison, he himself said, "Defense wins championships." And although I'm sure a lot of people would argue that health and availability can also win you championships, Nico Harrison decided to go all in and trade for Anthony Davis. And although Anthony Davis has a very questionable health history, known to be somewhat injury prone, he does provide a lot of great defense to this Dallas Mavericks team. As we saw in his Houston Rockets debut, he was an absolute monster. And also on the other side of the ball, he's a great scoring option. We also got Max Christie, who's going to look like an amazing young pair next to Derrick Lively to help push the future of this team, as well as we trade for Caleb Martin, who will provide perimeter defense and on-ball defense. But according to ESPN, this trade is an absolute failure, citing the fact that Anthony Davis is hurt yet again after he just got hurt in LA, plays one game, not even a full game, plays 2.5 quarters for the Mavericks, and gets hurt again. So in this video, we're going to take a look at how good was Anthony Davis, what can he provide to this team if he can stay healthy, and why is this trade such a failure? But how's it going, everybody? My name is Marcel Martin. This is Mavs Digest, bringing you the latest news on everything Mavericks related. And before we get started with today's video, we're currently sitting at 19,826. We're getting so close to 20K. But if you're enjoying everything that we're doing here at Mavericks Digest with our watch-alongs, our news vids, and everything else in between, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on a single thing that we do. But as we all know, no real need to rehash this, but the Dallas Mavericks traded for Anthony Davis. We sent out Luka Doncic, we sent out Maxi Kleber, as well as Markieff Morris, and a second-round pick to the Jazz. And we got back Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and the 2029 first-round pick. A few days after that trade, we also traded away Quentin Grimes for Caleb Martin with the Philadelphia 76ers. And it was later revealed that the reason why we traded away Quentin Grimes was right after the Luka Doncic trade, seeing that we just acquired Max Christie. Quentin Grimes' agent was worried that Quentin Grimes wouldn't get a lot of playing time as he didn't sign an extension over the summer. He wanted to play for a bigger contract. And since the Mavericks just got Max Christie, they were worried that maybe Quentin won't get playing time. Maybe he won't be able to play for a bigger contract. So they requested a trade. We went out and got Caleb Martin, who is hurt but should be back in the upcoming days. He will provide amazing on-ball defense, perimeter defense. He was very nitty-gritty for the Miami Heat, so maybe he can be that for us. Pairing him alongside Najee Marshall as well as PJ Washington would be an amazing combo. But in LA, we got Anthony Davis, as well as Max Christie, who I've said many times is the second coming of Kobe Bryant. And although a lot of you don't agree, Max Christie is an amazing young player. His defense is amazing. He will pick up the other team's best player at full court. He's looking like an amazing on-ball defender, a point-of-attack defender. Also, on the other side of the ball, he can shoot the three ball very well, attack the basket, has a little bit of a floater, mid-range game. Very, very young with a very high potential, very high ceiling. Max Christie looks like an amazing addition. But Anthony Davis, in his debut with the against the Houston Rockets, looked like an absolute force. Dallas Mavericks fans got a glimpse into what this team could look like if fully healthy. Seeing Daniel Gafford play down low alongside Anthony Davis just shutting down Alfred Sengun, having Kyrie just facilitate, orchestrate, not having to do too much because Anthony Davis just popping off. It was an amazing game. If you take a look right here, Anthony Davis during that game, after an amazing run, had to tell the fans, "I'm here," getting everybody hyped and happy. Anthony Davis had an impressive debut with the Mavs in just his first 20 minutes with the team, putting up 24 points. He was 9 of 13 from the floor and 2 of 2 from 3, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 blocks, and 0 turnovers. Like I said, we got a glimpse into what this team could look like. One of the best defenses in the league. The Rockets couldn't do nothing with us. And then the third quarter came, and a weird non-contact injury. Anthony Davis went down, had to go to the locker room. First, he said he was fine, it was just spasms. He actually wanted to come back into the game, but it was a staff that was advising against it. We thought he'd just have to miss the next few games, into All-Star break, come back. But then we got the news that Anthony Davis is expected to miss multiple weeks with a left adductor strain. Hopefully, he'll be back within the next few weeks. It's been a while since he did go down in that Houston Rockets game. So, realistically, maybe 2 to 3 more weeks. There have been no official timeline. They talked about maybe he'll need surgery, maybe just extensive and very careful therapy. He should be back mid-March so we can continue to push for the playoffs as we're currently the 8th seed, trying to get out of play-in territory. I think this team can definitely make it to the 6th seed if we stay healthy. And that's a huge if because health has been a problem all season long. But like I said, a lot of people are saying that this Anthony Davis trade is starting to look like a failure. Although Luka Doncic was injured when we traded him, it was a calf strain, something he has had before, but he was out since Christmas. It's February, almost the end of February. Luka would have had 2 months to recover, come back with the team, and slowly get back to form, get this team back on track. And a lot of fans were expecting that. But when you trade for Anthony Davis, although you can say that Nico wants more defense, and we definitely have more defense now. This team has won many games since the trade deadline, only losing one, and it's just been done because of great defense. We don't have all of our players. We don't have a full roster. This team is not healthy, and yet we have won the majority of our games since we made those trades. So shout out to Jason Kidd. I'll give him the props for running this team the right way and having the right additions of Anthony Davis for half a game, but also Max Christie, having a couple other guys like Max, Kessler Edwards, and Brandon Williams step up has been huge for us. The team's defense is definitely there. But, like I said, some people think it's a failure because Anthony Davis is injured yet again, knowing his history, knowing that he is injury prone, knowing that he isn't going to play a full season. And right after the trade deadline, having an injury like this where you're going to miss several weeks, I see why people have that notion that this is a failure. If we take a look right here, Get Up turns chaotic after suggestion that Anthony Davis trade is already a failure. And just to highlight some parts of their argument, it's not easy to work for anyone to defend the Dallas Mavericks' confusing decision to ship Luka Doncic out of town in return for Anthony Davis. It's because even more difficult with Davis immediately going down with an injury and Doncic looking like he could turn the Los Angeles Lakers to a serious title contender, aside from the Charlotte Hornets game last night, but we ain't got to talk about that. It takes something special for someone to stand up and say, hey, wait a minute, in response to the copious amount of criticism being aimed at Nico Harrison. The suggestion that already the Mavericks trade for Davis is a failure will do the trick, which is exactly the ground Get Up explored on Wednesday. How could it possibly be a failure? Alan Hand wondered aloud. How many games have they played? 3? I'm with Monica. Give it time. You have to see it play out before you start calling it an absolute failure. There's no absolute here. Anthony Davis is not 40 years old at the end of his career. This is not Kwame Brown for Pau Gasol. And I'll play devil's advocate. I get it. We have only lost one game since we got Anthony Davis. Yes, he's gone. He's down with injury. Luka Doncic was also injured, but he's already back playing. Yes, we got rid of Maxi Kleber. Yes, we got rid of Markieff Morris. We got back Max Christie. Guys are stepping up. Jason Kidd's coaching better now. So yes, you could say it's not a failure, and I would agree. I don't think it's a failure. Anthony Davis is not 40 years old. We didn't just trade away Pau Gasol and got Kwame Brown. I think the Mavericks are going to be just fine. It's just going to take time for them to get healthy. Pray to whoever you pray to that we will stay healthy, and the Mavericks will be all right. The fact that we are winning games without our full roster, with all these guys missing games, shows you that it doesn't matter what happens. This team has a lot of fight in them, and they will continue to fight. But to continue with their argument, someone said, but you traded him to win the championship. Brian Custer pushed back. The man is hurt. He played 2 quarters. I love Anthony Davis, but you guys always tell me your best ability is availability, Custer continued. He's never available. His nickname was Street Clothes. You made a trade for a man, he gave you a double-double in 2 quarters and got hurt. And now you don't even know when he's coming back. All in all, there was a lot of passion on display, and it's unclear what was resolved, but that's television. A happy compromise here would be for everyone to agree that to this point, yes, the trade has been a failure, while conceding that it's not useful or important at all to make any declarations at this early stage unless they can be adjusted in the future when there is actually data to look at. So yes, to continue to play devil's advocate, on the other side of that, he isn't available right now. You traded away players for one guy that's hurt, another guy that's hurt. Max Christie's playing pretty well. But I understand the criticism. I understand why they had this argument. But at the end of the day, you can't really call it a failure if we haven't seen it really in action. Give me a full season of Anthony Davis with the ups and downs, the injuries and the health. Give me a full season, and then we can really tell if this was a failure. Nico Harrison said it himself, only time will tell if this was a good trade or this was a bad trade. And I know a lot of people already hate it, and it doesn't matter what anyone or myself say. They absolutely hate this trade, where there are a lot of people who are okay with this trade. They like this trade. I'm just happy when the Mavs are winning. But let me know in the comment section down below. Do you agree that this trade was an absolute failure? Or you just want to give it some time? You can't really base it off of just a few games or the very first injury that a player has. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. We can have a conversation about it. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for making this far to the video. Make sure to check out our Twitter and Discord. Links in the description below. Consider becoming a channel member. We are doing a giveaway every single month on this channel. Only way to enter our giveaways is to become a channel member of any tier. I will also not be here for the next several games. I'm going on a cruise. I leave today. So until I get back, enjoy the content that you will see on this channel. I will return. Everything will be good. Make sure you drink water. Peace.